censoring everyone. Like seriously, this is massive censoring from Crunchyroll. Like legit, right? They have removed all the comments, everything with that, every kind of like any connection you have in users. This is actually pretty big, I think, honestly. So Crunchyroll has now removed everything that's to do with comment section, likes, reviews, whatever, on all their stuff, right? Also on the products, on the animes, on everything. Massive, generally, massive censorship. And it's all this Deer's fault. Nokatan. That's right. Nokatan is to blame for this thing. Crazy Deer girl. No, but seriously, because Nokatan has apparently really terrible translation. Because this AI translation is really badly done. And Crunchyroll has been very notorious over the years, right, of having terrible translations for many animes, commented late in the video. But for this now then, Nokatan has been a lot of critique, right, on the actual video. So Crunchyroll, with the genius they are, were like, whatever, it's just ban everyone, right? Crunchyroll's like, what if you remove everyone critiquing us? Yeah, what if you remove every comment that is giving us critique? And I mean, this is much bigger than, for example, when YouTube removed the down like button, right? And obviously press the like button here, subscribe guys, and smash the like button. But seriously, right, Crunchyroll has notoriously been bad with localization and so on. And this is the limit, right? They're just like, what if you censor everyone? Because of course, on Nokatan then, you would find a lot of critiques, right? You would go to this anime, it was released yesterday on Crunchyroll, it was released on Wednesday in Japan. So I have personally only seen this anime without subs, right? As with most animes. But that's one reason why, you know, right? Not only because I speak Japanese or whatever, but the reason you want to learn to speak Japanese is because a lot of the jokes doesn't work translated. That's one thing I think. However you do it. So I have worked with localization, right, for many years, and no matter how you do it, some jokes just can't really be translated into another language or the culture. Doesn't really make any sense. So Nokatan, I would say, definitely going to be better for you if you understand Japanese, absolutely. But even being said that, right, obviously they are doing really bad. I've seen some examples now then, and it looks really terrible. My favorite was when Yankee Onesan talks about Tokyo, and the text just says Tok, okay? So that's the reason they're censoring this thing, you know? Crunchyroll censoring people, because why is Yankee Onesan saying like, oh, this is only happening in Tok in English? It doesn't make any sense. It's clearly it's supposed to be Tokyo, right? So that's like either it's really badly done from the translator, or whatever, it doesn't matter. The quality isn't there, right? This is really bad translation. So of course people are gonna be critical, and the history of Crunchyroll is stuff like Dragon Maid, right? Where they clearly aren't mistranslation stuff, they use fake. It's called it's woke, whatever. I don't like to use the word woke for this stuff because it just feels lazy, but it really is what it is, right? So Dragon Maid has a translation where, you know, Luca, which is like the super thirsty dragon woman, right? She's by far the one that wants to do it, right? She basically comes home here to Kobayashi's home then, and Toru opens the door, and you know, instead of just saying, oh hello, you know, I'm here for whatever, right? In the English translation, she's like, Toru is like, oh, what happened to your bikini, basically. She's like, oh, I don't want to have the male gaze and, you know, evil patriarchy or whatever. And in Japanese, it's like, no, I just had a change today, right? So, like, why is all this adding stuff, right? So, no, Crunchyroll is notorious for being, of course, very woke and just fake stuff. It's not even like bad translation, it's like they're adding stuff. So the whole, like, another thing was in Kaguya-sama, where they rewrote what Chika said. Chika talking about, you know, COVID instead. Chika was talking about Corona and talking about, like, soliciting instead of just saying the line. So these so-called translators, right, are fake. They're not actual translators, they're activists. They're adding lines. It's very similar to my video talking about in Eiyuden Chronicles, which also has the same thing, where they're not actually doing translations, they're adding stuff. We had the guy, they were like, oh, Chud, incel, they're adding words that are not there in Japanese whatsoever, right? So that's what I read, right? You know, when I was a kid back in the days, you know, we had manga and anime and so on, right, before we had all this sites like Crunchyroll, people would do rewrites. People would literally take mangas, right, and they would rewrite the text to what they wanted to be, yeah. And they couldn't read Japanese, they would remove the text and be, well, they might say this thing. And it was called rewrites, and there was like their own text on it, and there was their own storyline, right? That is what this thing. Crunchyroll actually does a lot of rewrites, yeah. They're hiring this woke activists, and honestly, again, I don't say the word woke is silly, but it really is what it is. It's basically say it, yeah. They hire these activist people, and you know, they read what stuff like that, right? And so it's like a mixture of them having these crazy rewrites, doesn't make any sense, It's a mixture of this, like, woke rewrites that has no bearing on the actual information, right? And then also, of course, just having really, really low quality. It's also one thing too, Crunchyroll is notorious for just having like the worst processor, the worst timer, and as I said, never forget that Crunchyroll was a pirate site. Crunchyroll is worth $1 million now. Doesn't make any sense. They just stole stuff. Crunchyroll started as some guys building a site, and they were stealing other people's translation, other people's like fan sub animes, and they were stealing them and uploading their own site. That's kind of started by pirates. They were lazy pirates. They weren't even proper pirates. They were like doing their own subs. They were just lazy and stealing other people's subs. It's just crazy how they become $1 million company. Now of course Sony bought them about a few years ago, right? And Sony then, coming back to talking about the successor stuff and rewriting, right? Sony is notoriously, PS5, PS4 there, right? It's notoriously censored too. And I really mean it, mass censorship, because it's notorious. Again, at least below, I talked about earlier, but Crunchyroll is really bad being owned by Sony because it makes it worse, right? Like, seriously. Sony, like for example, censored Devil May Cry 5 and so on, right? So when Devil May Cry 5 was released, it was heavily censored on PlayStation, but on Xbox it was fine. We have many games that are released on Nintendo Switch and PS5 and so on, and the Switch version is much better, not actually like loading time or so, but the image are better, the art is better, because they don't censor. Nintendo is like whatever, yeah, Nintendo is like do what you want, yeah. Nintendo is actually the least censoring, which is kind of funny, right? Because you imagine Nintendo being, family-oriented more and so on, but Nintendo, I think, as an approach is like, they themselves are making, family friendly for the whole family kind of games, right? If you want to make like a sexy like normal game or something, sexy like dating game, whatever, they're like fine, whatever, put 80% on it and people buy it, they know what they're buying. Yeah, they don't care. It's like they have a very different thing, their own personal brand, and then whatever the people are doing. So that's kind of how they look at it, right? But Sony has this like, we have to censor it, yeah, and so on. So I think that, and I predicted this earlier, right, that Sony buying Crunchyroll is obviously made it worse, right? Of course it did. And now we're seeing them going for this full-on censorship, seriously, right? Where they just remove everyone's comment section, everything to be able to critique stuff. And also really bad because Crunchyroll, right, has evolved their marketing with so on and so on, and has evolved into like a product thing where they're selling, anime figures, right? They're selling Chainsaw figures, whatever. Yeah, they're selling stuff like this, right? They're selling, other stuff. They're not just like an anime site anymore, right? They have all this stuff. They're like, they do maybe video games. I don't know. They're doing stuff. They're doing their own animes, right? The whole like, Magic Girl anime, High Garden Spice, that's called, yeah, and so on, right? They have really evolved into being a much more of a collaborating thing, a franchise thing, whatever, right? All this stuff. And then again, censor people, removing comment section, removing all that stuff. That is terrible, right? Because what if you buy a figure on their website, it doesn't work, right? If you go to like Amazon, right, and you buy a figure there, or buy a game, whatever, right, and say, oh, this doesn't work, this is a faulty product, right? You can leave a comment and say this is terrible, right? Yeah, Crunchyroll now is like, you're not allowed anymore to like, comment our products. Right? To censor everyone's comment and reviews and so on. So you can't even more, like there's no reviews anymore or anything. You can't, there's no comments anymore. Fair, I did actually find comments now on the store. And I want to put that to be fair, right? Because I'm an honest person. There is some reviews here on the store page, but they're not that many, and almost everything has 0 stars. So it's honestly really weird, but it's my point, right? If you're removing everything, if you're even removing like, review stars on like products, that's really, really scummy. Most stuff has this thing, right? This honestly really, really efficient. This thing doesn't even appear. This like 0 starting on Crunchyroll. At first when you upload a page, the page doesn't even show you the review. Like, it doesn't show you anything. And then after a while, this thing happens. This is the last appears, okay? This is very fishy. I keep saying here, to be honest, on the Demon Slayer box, I did actually see 4 reviews and it has stars. But on everything else, this is 0. So, or nothing, or it's just nothing. So, I'm thinking they're even gonna start moving it here. But I bring it up here because that would be incredibly weird, right? Having a store not allowing reviews and comments. But I guess they might still do it, but it seems really fishy. And like I said, on some of them they haven't, or some of them they seem to have removed them, right? And that to me, again, you're censoring people's like reviews here. So I think this, like I said, I have no evidence of them removing, I guess, comments on the store, but yeah, probably, because almost everything is just zeroed, right? So that seems really, really scummy and fishy. So you say like, oh, this is if this figure works, or this game works, or whatever, right? This product works, and they're like removing those comments, yeah, that is really, really bad, right? But anyway, back to the main thing. That's what I'll bring up the Storten there, because that to me looks even weirder, right? If you actually even censor the store, that looks really weird. This is a really, really bad look, right? And one thing I want to point out here is that obviously the comment section or the stuff like this, reviews or whatever, or Crunchyroll is not much it's not much lost. But it still feels sad, because no, I don't use Crunchyroll very often, but if you go to an old anime like One Piece or Dragon Ball or whatever, right, you have these old animes that have been out there for 10 years or more even, right? You open that page, and it can be really fun reading people's comments, like, oh, this guy wrote like 11 years ago, was a comment about Luffy, or, I think that's one beauty thing with social media, right? You can go on my channel here, or on other channels that have been a lot longer than mine, right? And maybe see someone having a comment like, oh my god, that guy freaking called Nika 10 years ago. Like, this is crazy. It's like 10 years ago, right? Or for example, when you make your own videos, I made a video about Yamato, right? Like 2-3 years before her power showed, and I called it. Yeah, so I called it how it's gonna work. Like, like that's one of the things when you make tier videos. You get that win every now and then, right? Stuff like that, like people having that one awesome comment or maybe some discussion, right? And of course, most of the comments are just like complete craziness. Who cares? But obviously, this is all about them having an agenda / they can't handle the critique, right? Because they really do a terrible job. So it's sad in that way. I think that's really sad because they had like thousands of comments, right? They were really good. Yeah, they were legit, right? It's a little bit of a history of a culture, because you can also see maybe someone saying that, oh, I love this anime, guys. If you like this anime, check it out. This is a similar anime. Maybe they close to the airing, and people are, oh my god, this really reminds me of this anime. Go check it out or whatever. Right? So you can feel like this kind of, I would say, the anime culture, right, or whatever, this field, right? So yeah, it's really unfortunate, but I don't know. Does it surprise me that much? Not that much. I mean, obviously they just they live on really doing bad stuff though. Yeah, it is really weird, but on the same time though, I said it in my Eiyuden video, I am looking forward to AI taking over, right? Yeah, I'm looking forward to AI coming in saying that, why do I need to hire fake translator to read right stuff? I'd rather have an AI. When the AI gets better and we translate stuff accurately, that would be better. No opinion, just do it. Yeah, like that's just better, right? And Crunchyroll probably will end up doing that because it's cheaper. So, but I think this mostly shows you how agenda-driven they are. Honestly, I think it's honestly more about the agenda, not about the critique of them. I think it's more about that they're very, very, very political. And I'll say lastly, guys, if you have seen my video, check out my video down below for localization and writing in the gaming industry, right? Because the main reason why it's happening, right, when it comes to game localization, it's the same thing, is that no one wants to have the job, okay? No one actually wants to be a localizer. No one in their right mind actually wants to do anime localization. And I don't mean it just because it's like bad salary. No, because either you're like a linguistic expert, right? And then you want to translate, philosophy books. You want to work on like a foreign diplomacy. You want to, what I mean? Or you want to make your own anime or your own game, right? No one wants to be an anime. It's the lowest shitty job ever, yeah. Terrible salary, no one respects you, and you have no actual input, right? So the only people that actually have these like localized jobs as Crunchyroll or whatever are activists, right? Only people, and they want to change the stuff, and because no one will ever hire them to write something because they can't write, right? They will then impose their own beliefs, right, into it, That's why only the worst kind of people end up being localizers. I made a long video about the thing, but it's very, very true. You will only find the most incompetent people. And it's also this, like, the whole thing is that if you're competent, right, to, like, overcompetent, you're gonna get a better job, basically, yeah. So you're only left with the worst kind of people, because the better you are, the less time you work at this job, right, You will get promoted and get out of it, yeah. So only the worst people will stay to you, because the better people will get a better position, right? Absolutely. So it's like, only the absolute worst kind of people are anime localizers, 100%, and scientific gaming, yeah, 100% too, absolutely. Because if you're a good game localizer, right, you will then instead become a foreign diplomat, working with that stuff, the translating, important documents, right, or you get a better job in the gaming industry. Because if you want to be a game developer, right, in your localization, as a first job, you will obviously get a better job as a coder, as a designer, as a producer. Right? Yeah, you will work your way out from that job. So the only absolute cesspool of the worst kind of incompetent people end up as an anime localizer. I mean, genuinely mean it, yeah. They're the absolute worst kind of people to have the job. Not everyone, of course, but but honestly, because even the people that are good at it, right, are usually get a better job, yeah. Because if you can do it for the money, right, you're actually very good at it, you can do it for the money, what would you do then? Well, you would probably still do something else, even if you like anime. Because you would rather do diploma stuff, because you're 10 times better paid, right? So, people that are good at the language, they won't do it either, right? Because why would you? When you get it's just bad salary. So, it's only like the worst kind of people doing it. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, mass censorship with Crunchyroll, massive. The sorting is very strange, though. Very strange. But it's acting very strange. Like I showed you there, it doesn't even show you the reviews. It's just 000, no reviews, 00 and everything. Yeah, super fishy. They also probably will remove it at the store as well, which is very, very scummy. Anyways, if you like the video, please subscribe, press the like button, and obviously I won't censor my comments for this video, so you can leave a comment down below, guys. And so you guys have a great day.